Yo, what's up guys, your boy Nitrostorm here, welcome back to Wuthering Waves. So, with the profile reveal for Zani about a few days ago, I thought I'd make this video because I've read through the kit and I wanted to make this very short and simple video to understand her gameplay because it is simpler than you may think. Now, first of all, we have to start all the way down here to the Forte circuit. So, there are two things to worry about, right? Three things in total, but only two things. So the first of three is the Heliacal Embers, second is Redundant Energy, and third is Blaze. Now these are grouped into two groups. First is the Redundant Energy group, which is just this thing here, and the second is the Blaze group, which is this, as well as the Heliacal Embers. Now, first thing, we'll focus on the Blaze. So Blaze is what you need, is her bread and butter for her ultimate, for her liberation to deal the big damage, because stuff she does in Inferno mode will use Blaze to deal big damage. Now, to get Blaze, you need to get Heliacal Embers. Now, to get Heliacal Embers, you need to apply Spectral Frazzle. Now that we know that, we can see here that if we reword this, every stack of Spectral Frazzle gives you 5 Blaze, basically. And so in total, if you want to get max Blaze from Spectral Frazzle alone, you need to get 20 stacks. Now, this is where two things come in. So the first is the easier of the two, which is using Phoebe at S1. And to do the math, basically, at S1 gives you max stacks when casting Liberation. Max Spectral Frazzle stacks you can inflict on an enemy is 10, so you'll get 10 there. And then you go to Confession State, which will bring you to 11, and then you do Confession heavy attacks twice, that will give you 10, so you'll be 1 over, but you'll have max Blaze before ult. Now the second of the two, which is a bit longer, is S0 Phoebe, and in this case you would do the exact same thing. Ultimate gives you 8, and then going into Confession State gives you 1, so that's 9. And then casting 2 heavy attacks in Confession State gives you 10 more. That gives you a total of 19. So that is 1 stack off, which will bring you to 95 Blaze. Technically, you can start off from here, maybe no problem, but this is where Redundant Energy comes in. So Zani can hold up to 100 energy, Redundant Energy, and tldr, the most efficient rotation for this, is to intro with Zani, in my opinion. Because normally when you intro, that's where you probably get the most out of it, right? The intro, and then skill, cancel with a normal attack, then normal attack the rest of the way, and then you just ultimate right after. And then doing the once you get 100 redundant energy, that is when you'll cast the enhanced version of the E. And in this case, you will literally just hold and let go, basically. Hold and let go to cast targeted action, which will give you 10 Blaze, which will bring you to max, and then you can cast your Liberation. And then that's pretty much it, honestly. In terms of this, in terms of like the details of the attacks and stuff, you can... I'll link you this article. I mean, it's the official Wuthering Waves website, so you can probably find it yourself there. But it basically, outside of like, you know, the minute details, you know, the very small, fine details, that's the only things you actually need to worry about. You get stacks for Blaze, fill up your Redundant Energy, cast your enhanced resonance skill after maxing this, and then you should have max Blaze, and then you'll cast your ultimate. And then one extra bit here is her outro skill, and in this case, this damage is buffed by every stack of Heliacal Embers. And as you can tell from prior, we get a maximum of 60 stacks of Heliacal Embers, which is an equivalent of inflicting 60 stacks of Spectral Frazzle. Now, at this point, I have no idea how we can get this many stacks. In terms of Zani's kit herself, she doesn't actually apply Spectral Frazzle herself. She consumes Spectral Frazzle and then applies Heliacal Embers. So, you know, in which case it's kind of, you know, it's kind of cringe in that case. I don't know how we can get 60, but in case you do get 60, that will mean you get 600% damage boost. Now, the only reason why I say maybe you can't is because you remove all stacks of Heliacal Embers when you outro with Zani. So, you know, you could argue that you might not want to outro with Zani, but that might be difficult to do considering how her rotation works, I believe. But yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of her rotation. Just to summarize, her full rotation would just be, assuming S0 Phoebe is Phoebe rotation, 19 stacks, right? 95 Blaze. Intro, I think you intro into Zani, I'm not sure. But basically Zani needs to intro from someone, does her skill attack and then normal attack, get the max redundance energy, then you hold E, let go E, and then liberation. And then from there you go big ham. You can read the document for more information. Now, the last section of this video will be talking about literally the blaze part, because from the looks of it, if you're unable to apply a lot of spectral frazzle relatively quickly, you are gonna be running out. I mean, like the Heliacal Embers will literally run out, right? If you don't continuously apply spectral frazzle or don't apply spectral frazzle fast enough. So, you know, that's gonna be kind of an issue in that regard. But, you know, until we see actual gameplay, then we won't really know for sure. So yeah, there is a chance that, you know, Phoebe might become a must pull for Zani due to just because of how much spectral frazzle she gives. Now, unfortunately, you know, I mentioned that I was skipping Phoebe. Now, as you can see, if I do want Zani, I feel like I have to pull for her now, so which is kind of a bummer. But in any case, I hope you find this video useful. Hopefully you notice the timestamps in this video as well. Let me know what you think about Zani. Overall, I think she has a lot of potential to be very fun, but her gameplay is actually not as difficult as you may think. You don't actually need to worry about her like gimmicks and mechanics. She's actually very straightforward to play. In any case, it's been your boy Nitrostorm. I'll see you guys in the next stream or video. Peace.